Welcome back to the Will Cain Show. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announcing new changes to the Department of Transportation today.
We're going to rebuild some towers. We're going to rebuild some TRACONs. We're going to rebuild some centers. Everything else that controls the airspace is going to be brand new. So we're going to have new telecom, new fiber throughout the system. We're going to have brand new radios in our towers to communicate between air traffic controllers and with airplanes.
Secretary Duffy talking about how antiquated the primary system was for the previous administration, and in fact, administrations, that it dated back to copper wires, over decades old, talking about the investment to step up FAA communications into the 21st century. So here's the question. If everything at the FAA was allowed to get decades old, covered in dust, and decrepit to the point that it shut down Newark, what was Pete Buttigieg doing? Where were they spending their money? Well, the Will Cain Show has on its desk, in its hands, documents from the White House. We read these documents. We dove into these documents, released exclusively to us here on television, that shows how deeply the federal government invested in DEI. Let's walk through it department by department. First of all, every state in the country was forced through the Department of Transportation to adopt quantitative equity screening components by 2030. I know what you're thinking. Will, what does that mean? I don't know. I just know that their priority then is on DEI and not making sure the FAA keeps planes safely landing at Newark. How about the Department of State? Promotion requirements at the Department of State required that employees document their support for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, a prerequisite to moving up at State Department. It's only the beginning. At the Department of Education, they granted funds on paper claiming that there were too many white students in STEM. They had videos instructing teachers to flick that white man off your shoulder and to resist settler patriarchy and the white gaze. That is your Department of Education. And yet, it continues. In other departments within the federal government, like, for example, the USDA, they play DEI bingo. Pronouns in my signature line, knowing what the I in LGBTQIA+ means. Inclusivity? Not sure. How about at the Veterans Affairs? They said microaggression training included things like saying all lives matter. All lives matter is a microaggression. Also, everyone can succeed if you just work hard enough. No, that's not a mantra for the VA. That's a microaggression under the previous VA. And then finally, at the Department of Labor, when hiring employees, lived experience was an important consideration when picking new candidates. It goes on and on and on and on. It's every department within the federal government, with hundreds of millions of dollars shoved to these departments to invest in DEI. Now you know not just the extent of their priorities, but their indoctrination into this roughly 5 to 10-year-old philosophy. All right, joining me now is the journalist and author Batya Ungar-Sargon. Batya, thanks for being with us. You know, the funny thing is, Batya, I don't even actually know where you are on DEI, but I do know where you are on priorities. I've heard you speak extensively about the focus on the middle class, what a government's job should do and be when it comes to its people. I can't imagine this is, in your mind, a healthy priority.
So thank you so much for having me, Will, and for this real public service. This investigation is really important. I also have to say thank God for Sean Duffy, a man who is as kind as he is smart, a true patriot, and someone who is just the perfect man for this job. This looks like it's a story about race and gender, but actually it is a story about class. This is all gobbledygook that is intended to keep working class people and working class values like merit and hard work and service to your country over yourself out of the federal government and out of the elites. If liberals actually cared about having a truly diverse workforce and the values of working class Americans of all races at the highest echelons of government and other industries, they would go into those failing schools and actually fix them. But that's not what they want, Will. What liberals want is the right to both oversee an economy that was an upward funnel of wealth into their own pockets, and also the right to sneer at conservatives and feel holier than thou. And so rather than taking pride in the fact that this country, as a nation, overcame the racism of our past. They like to pretend this hoax that we're still racist, and it is they who are saving us from the racism of conservatives and of their political opposition. It's disgusting, Will, and I'm so glad that you're calling it out.
Well, thank you, Batya. But I think it's not only sneering and looking down your nose at conservatives, but to your earlier point, sneering and looking down your noses at the working class of America. I recently interviewed Jason Riley from the Wall Street Journal about a new book that he has called The Affirmative Action Myth. And one of the points that he makes is programs like affirmative action, and here its cousin, DEI, is that it actually benefits the elite. It doesn't benefit working class blacks. It doesn't benefit the people that actually need the government to help them in any way financially or through class, but it's actually something that props up the already existing elite within even any minority.
100%. And that's why, of course, 50% of Black Americans are opposed to affirmative action, because it is deeply insulting. And these DEI practices, not only do they suggest that a person of color would not be able to get the job on their own, but they suggest that a person would reject them because they are not a white person, which is, of course, a hoax and a canard on this great nation.
All right, Batya Ungar-Sargon, it's always a great conversation. It always deserves more time. I hope to have you again soon. Thank you, Batya.
God bless you. Thank you.
You as well.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.